Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz Mixed Tape launch event. My name is Alondra de la Parra, and this is the brand new S-Klasse. Together with Mercedes-Benz, we put together, and I was invited to curate this wonderful playlist, this selection of beautiful music by some of my most favorite musicians today. And we are going to reveal the music of this wonderful compilation called The Rite of Joy to you today. But first, join us in seeing a little video that we did together for you. Hey Mercedes, play The Rite of Joy on Spotify. Hey Mercedes, play The Rite of Joy on Spotify. Hello dear friends, it's really exciting to share with you this new mixtape that we've done with Mercedes-Benz. Looking back on 2020, of course, the project of the Impossible Orchestra was the biggest project for me, for sure, having had most of my concerts cancelled, like most of my peers. We thought of creating this impossible orchestra. Together with 30 musicians from all over the world, from 14 nationalities, we put together this virtual concert of Danzón No. 2 by Arturo Márquez, Mexican composer, together with the Mexican ballerina Elisa Carrillo, and 30 musicians from all over the world come together through this virtual reality, so to speak, because we were never together in the same space, but we did the impossible to create this performance for you that would seem as if we were together. And we did this to raise awareness and funds to help children and women victims of violence in Mexico. And we're very proud to have done a little bit towards helping this change. And it was through the Impossible Orchestra that all these amazing musicians got together. And for the mixtape of this year, to end this very challenging year, we wanted to create something that would be a rite of joy. And that's why we called it the Rite of Joy. And I selected music of the Impossibles. What are the Impossibles doing this year, apart from the Impossible Orchestra? Many of them are recording. And so I talked to each one of them, asking them for their latest recording. Some of them have home studios and were working on these pieces themselves. Others had just released them. And so I think this list of music, this playlist, will be something really extraordinary and original for you to listen to. A lot of it had not been published, and it's being published for the first time with this mixtape. We have Pacho Flores playing, we have Pacho and Paquito Rivera together, and I know they did this recording from the distance. We have Sarah Willis with her newest release, Mozart Mambo, that she did in Cuba. We have Stefan Dorr and the Berlin Philharmonic Octet in a live concert that they did as well. We have Amihai Gross with his latest Schubert album. We have also Guy Braunstein with his own arrangements of Tchaikovsky's music. We have a beautiful Beethoven sonata arranged for quintet with Gili Schwarzman also playing the flute. We have a Kodai sonata for cello solo with Alisa Weilerstein from a live performance. One of my favorite concerts that I've ever given was with the Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie Bremen a couple of years ago at the Elbphilharmonie, and we selected the live performance recording of Prokofiev's First Symphony, and that's also part of the playlist. And then we have also a very original track by Alexei Gudesman, who, when I called him, I asked him, what is it that you want to add to this compilation? And he said, well, what I've been working on is not a classical track, but actually a pop song about how I want to rebel against what I should play or what I should compose, and that's his very original track. And we also have our trombones and tuba, Jürgen van Riegen and Stefan Schulz and Jo Alessi, playing also in a trombone quartet. So I hope you enjoy this wonderful playlist, this mixtape that we call the Rite of Joy, because we want us all to end this year in a ritual around music, around joy, hope, positivity, and I hope you enjoy it. Recently, I had a meeting through video conference with my friends of the Impossible Orchestra, and we talked about what went into putting this mixtape together. So let's take a look a little bit about what we were chatting about. Enjoy. I'm so happy to have you together. You're my most favorite musicians and also people. I wish we could be sitting around drinking some wine or tequila or mojitos, because I really miss being around you guys, especially in this time. So, Pacho, you were in the Impossible Orchestra the star in many ways, because you play the very tricky solo. And since you have your instrument around there, can you play a little bit of the heebie-jeebies so that people can see what I'm talking about when I'm in joy?
Me pillaste desprevenido.
Paquito, you're also responsible for one of the most important solos in the Impossible Orchestra video, which starts with me dreaming of playing with my heroes and my favorite musicians, and then out of nowhere, your image appears and you're playing this beautiful solo that is normally heard played on the clarinet, but you played it on the soprano sax. Tell us about this.
I love the introduction of that piece. I love that for many years. And always I thought that should sound better with the soprano saxophone. And for some coincidence, let's call it that way, and Maestro Marquez, he thought also that the soprano saxophone would be better for that solo. And I decided to play the solo in the first instrument that I played in my life, which is a 1953 semi-soprano, chord soprano that my father gave me when I was 5 years old, which is this instrument here. And it's a coincidence that the composer and me, the interpreter, have the same idea about that.
Yes, that was great, because I remember he said,
this is the first time I played that soprano. You see? And that is my father.
So beautiful.
I recorded with Irakere many years ago. And then I recorded here in New York with the string orchestra. And it's more or less like that. That's the original medley, you know?
All right.
Well, that's definitely another proof that Mozart definitely would have also done a good blues. But Sarah, did you want to play something? Just like...
Okay, so this is what Mozart wrote. So, and this is what we turned it into. So we stayed true to everything he did. We just changed the meter a little bit. And there's a montuno in there. There's a coro. There's a part where I can dance with the conductor. I never did that before. Dance salsa on the stage with the conductor. It was great. But we stayed very true to Mozart.
That's wonderful, Sarah. And I would like to move to Stefan Dohr, who is, as you all know, the principal hornist of the Berlin Philharmonic, and just an amazing musician that also took part on the Impossible Orchestra. And when I call you, Stefan, about what could you add to this mixtape for Mercedes-Benz, I was very interested in showing what you were all doing, what you have been doing during this year, and not recordings from old archives that are great and famous, but rather what's happening now. And tell me what you told me to get to the track that we chose.
No, I think Amichai knows the track what I've put on because he's also on that one. So you wanted to have a part of our nice Schubert octet recording we did, and it's only released in Japan. And I think it's a pity that it's only released in Japan at the moment. We actually recorded in Japan on a tour. So we had a couple of concerts before, and then we decided, that sounds, it's just such a joy to play, with Daishin, Esco, Christoph, Wenzel, Moore, Romano. So it was, we had this fantastic tour, and we thought we have to make a CD of that. So actually we did. And, but it's not really on sale in Europe or in the States. It's just for Japan. So I hope maybe that track will, of course, maybe help. It was such a joy to play, and the Rite of Joy is like the title that at the moment we need rituals. We need rituals to listen to music. We can't play live concerts. We don't have the joy of the live concerts at the moment. So I think the title of it is not. Yeah, we miss the rituals of going to concerts, to theaters. All these things are not existing at the moment. So just to have a nice, all these fantastic ideas, put together, these titles is, I would love to be a part of it, and I hope the people really love it.
Guy, so you are doing the Swan Lake, your own arrangement of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, the Pas de Deux, and it's amazing. I love that recording, and since you showed it to me, I adored it, and I'm very happy that it's part of the playlist because it's the Rite of Joy, and we want to close 2020 with a positive force musically, and for everybody who wants to listen to something new, this is an old new thing that you've put forward, and we are really happy for that. And going back to the live performances that we have in this wonderful mixtape compilations, one of my most favorite concerts that I've ever conducted was at the Elbphilharmonie with the Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie Bremen, where we did Prokofiev First Symphony. And Hans, thank you for letting us include that. And if you want to say a few words about that concert, since you were there.
Yeah, Alondra, it was amazing. I have all the best memories. And in fact, now our most important concern and vision as a Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie in this really special times is to make people happy with the greatest possible exuberant and excellent music. And it was with you. We played it so many times, this classical symphony, also as encore and certain, but it was always the absolutely highlight. And so it was a wonderful idea to include this in your track list. And as a matter of course, we are happy to contribute and to support your idea.
This is about what the Impossibles are doing.
I have a Jewish mother. I'm used to it.
I think, Guy, you were always an impossible, but somehow. And I see Joe Alessi from New York, a principal trombonist of the New York Philharmonic. Joe, how are you? You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, yes. We don't get together normally just because of the distance, but I can tell you when we do get together, it's a dream quartet. I know the Sarah does a lot of ensemble work with Stefan and outside of the orchestra, and this is just as enjoyable as that. These are the greatest players in the world, Jürgen von Rijn and Stefan Schulz and Michel Biquet. And anyway, in the world of trombone, you can't get much better than that. So it's really a joy we don't really say very much. We just play and you know, very little talking, a lot of laughing. But to do this project with you, Alondra, and my great colleagues and all the amazing musicians here for this cause is really what we hope that will continue, you know, with other orchestras and other projects like this. So thank you so much for you know, including me, and I love the music, and it was just fun recording it, and so I'm just excited to be part of this great project.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I think people will really enjoy this because it's full of gems. And when they first asked me, can you just put together your favorite Spotify music for this list? I thought, no, I want to see what my friends are doing now and show something that they would not find so easily. They would have to go here and there, but actually really see what, you know, really some of my most favorite musicians, which are all here in this call, are doing right now. And what's actually, there's a lot of common threads. So a lot of it is getting outside of the box. Another one is joy. The other is experimenting and being free. And what's amazing is that all of you have in common is that we can all groove. And that even comes through in Vivaldi or Bach, or whether it's mambo, or even in the octet. It's there. And that's really also something I wanted to share with the general audience, which is that classical musicians, or which actually it's a word that doesn't really fit us, but that's how it's called, are much more than what people imagine, and that there's a huge world there to be discovered. And to that end, I just want to share the thought that as the world has shifted from, fast food and trashy ingredients to organic and vegan and all this healthy food, I see the same thing happening in music. It started being acoustic, and then the invention of the cables and the amplifiers and the speakers took music's journey and the popular music's journey to a superhuman level where things were amplified to stadiums and everybody wanted to hear the most unhuman thing, but until we got to DJs and so on. And I really believe that now the humanity is ready to really be thirsty for real human connection, real human production, for the breath, the body, the spirit, the imagination of one human or many human beings together without the assistance of anything else. And that's what we do. So I feel this is our time. And I hope that what we are all doing will really start a wave where people will just be searching to go into concert hall and just experience something that's 100% human, and that it is evaporating and ephemeral. And that makes it even more beautiful. Alisa, your track is amazing, and it's also one of those gems that I'm so glad we talked about, because when we spoke, you said, I did this concert. Tell us about that.
I feel like my own sense of time has changed so much that I was kind of curious how it would impact a piece that I knew extremely well and that I had played in all sorts of different kind of iterations. And so I put quite a lot of thought into these concerts. And the Corazón Sonata, of course, it's 35-minute kind of tour de force for the instrument. And it's very wild, very primal. And it's a piece that I love very, very much. And so that concert was a kind of extra meaningful one for me.
Yes, this has been a difficult and unique year. And I think we've all had the chances to think about things we normally don't have time to reflect on. And I thank you all for your time. Thanks, Mercedes-Benz, for this great idea. I hope that people enjoy our music to end this crazy year on a positive note. And thank you all, and have a great end of the year. Thank you for being with us, and we hope you enjoy the Mercedes-Benz Mixed Tape, the Rite of Joy, that is made specially for you with the musicians of the Impossible Orchestra. Thank you to each one of the musicians of the Impossible Orchestra for their artistic input and their talent. And remember, you can all listen to this wonderful music in all streaming platforms anytime. Enjoy the Rite of Joy.